about Dia and Cyrus. First of all, is it just me, or does this sound like freaking Cyrus is doing his confessionals from a cardboard box? And all his confessionals, like when he talks, it sounds so muffled to me. And it hasn't just been this episode, it's the past few episodes too. I don't know if it's just the way he talks, or if like he's sitting on his microphone or something, but it always sounds so off to me. But anyways, we see Dia and Cyrus, and they're in the car, and they're headed to go see Cyrus's probation officer because he needs to go check in. I'm not sure if he has to get an ankle monitor, but then he has to talk about his home plan because originally a few months ago he had planned to go to his mother's house, but since him and Dia start getting serious, he claims he decided to change his home plan to move in with Dia and her kids. So Dia's all stressed out like, okay, you changed it, right? Everything's gonna work out. You're gonna be able to come straight home to me, right? Cyrus was like, don't worry, baby. It's all worked out. I already transferred my probation. It's going to be all good. She got a hotel for them in the mountains, and there's like a hot tub and a jacuzzi, so they're going to have a good old time at the hotel and then go see the probation officer and then go to her house afterwards. And Cyrus revealed that I guess while he was locked up, his mom picked out a wedding ring. So he's going to be proposing to Dia anytime now. I'm sure they're probably going to say that for one of the next few episodes. Knowing how quickly he relapsed when he did come out of prison and how he's currently still in jail, I have a hard time believing that he bought an engagement ring with his own money or gave the money to his mom. I bet this was like the producers, because I've heard before like the producers have like a box of Amazon rings that they offer some of the cast members, like, hey, it'd be a really good idea if you propose to her. I guess the rings aren't real, but they look really real, and I bet that's probably what Cyrus is going to do. Like, come on, the man got arrested not long after being out of prison, got busted with a gun and crack, and he literally admitted that he is a crack user. So if you're using that soon out of prison, then you're probably using the whole time in prison. And I'm not buying no crackhead is buying an engagement ring fresh out of prison with his own money. Unless maybe he stole it. Okay. But then we see Dia and Cyrus, and they had to go see his PO. And Cyrus and Dia go, well, I guess originally it was Cyrus who went in, and he was in there forever, and Dia was in a really bad mood because it was taking so long. And eventually Cyrus came out, and he grabbed Dia, took Dia inside to talk to his PO, and he's like, look, you gotta hear this for yourself. And I guess the PO told him that, or told him and Dia that he's not allowed to go to Dia's house right now. I guess he's not going to be on an ankle monitor for a week, but after a week they want him to come back and put an ankle monitor on him. But he's not allowed to go to Dia's house for now. He's going to have to go to his mom's house because I guess that was the original plan. And this is what my personal opinion is. I don't think he ever switched his home plan to Dia's house, because I think like if he was using that soon out of prison, he was likely using in person. So I think, in my personal opinion, he was probably like, you know what, I can go to my mom's house, I can be around my old playground, my old playmates, and I know where all my drug dealers are out there, I know where all the licks are out there. So he thought it would be easier than going to Dia's house, which is farther away, which he doesn't know anyone at, and he's going to be around a bunch of kids. I mean, he sounds like he wants to have a family, but I don't think he's ready to play that full-on stepdaddy role day in and day out yet. So I think he purposely didn't switch it and just kind of played dumb to Dia. That's just my personal opinion. That's just a pure assumption. I have no proof to prove that, but she was upset as hell. She started breaking down, and she's like, I've been waiting all this freaking time for you. But that's just part of dealing with a PO or parole officer. If you get in trouble, unfortunately, you're going to be on a tight leash and do what they tell you to do. And Dia was like, well, at least we can FaceTime, and then she wanted to go back to the hotel, and she showed Cyrus the hotel, and they're sitting there, and she's like, oh yeah, one more thing, we need to call the kids because the kids are so excited to see you. And I don't know, I know they've been together for a little minute, but I just don't feel comfortable with her pushing Cyrus on these kids as hard as she is. Like, it feels like she's trying to push him so quickly into that stepdaddy role without giving him time to prove himself outside of prison. And like I said, we've seen that he already got arrested again, so the kids are just going to get attached to him outside of prison just for him to get ripped away from them. And that is going to be devastating and heartbreaking. You think for Dia it was devastating to learn that Cyrus couldn't move in with them. Well, just wait until they find out that he went back to jail. That's going to be 20 times more devastating for them. But she ended up going to the hotel. They talked to the kids and they got in the hot tub, and it looks like they're probably gonna have some sexy time. And Dia, actually, I found her on TikTok, and she did make a TikTok defending her kids' room, because a lot of people were talking about, why are your kids like in a room that looks like it's surrounded by particle boards? Because I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the room was like made of really thin particle board all around the kids' room, and it almost looked like the kids were living in some sort of attic or shed or something. Well, Sarcasm actually found the home records, and I guess they show that the part that the kids were staying in was an addition that Dia added onto her house. So she said in her TikTok that this was addition she added onto the house so the kids could have more room. She said the house that they're living in is like damn near 100 years old or over 100 years old. And when she moved in, it was one of those fixer-uppers. Like, that's all she could afford at the time. So she's been doing a lot of renovations on it. And she said the extra room was a renovation, but they weren't fully finished with it at the time of filming. They only, did the particle boards. They hadn't put the walls or insulation up yet. And then I guess a lot of people are giving her backlash because the room was just cluttered in toys. And she claims the reason it was like that is because they were filming all day and the kids were just left in that room with a bunch of toys to play all day. And they kind of just went ham and made a mess, which, I mean, that's understandable. Then Dia also made a video addressing people wondering when she got married exactly, because she is in her, I can't remember how old she is. She's like in her mid-30s, I want to say. And she was trying to say she was with her ex-husband for like 20 years or something like that. So people are doing the math and they're like, okay, if they were together for 20 years, then that means she had to get married when she was like 14. And she ended up addressing it and she said, look, we weren't married at 14, but she claims they were middle school sweethearts and they're together for like 7 years before they did end up getting married. And then they started having babies. And she's like, yeah, well, I think they started having babies before they got married while she was still in high school. But she's like, yeah, we were pretty much babies having babies. But she said, no, we weren't married for 20 years. We were just together for 20 years. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about Dia and Cyrus in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.